Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Metro Food Service webinar series on Metroseal. What does it actually do? We're going to learn the value a good epoxy coating can provide and how it fights the dangers lurking. Your host today is me, Captain Callia Savage, SEAL Team's Communications Specialist, and General Farah, our SEAL Team leader, is off fighting another battle, but she may join us later. Today, since we're talking about Metroseal, we have to acknowledge wire is the most popular and most abundant solution for storage in the food service industry. We just want to emphasize, don't sacrifice performance. Metroseal is an economical rust protection finish. The family of Metroseal offers great value. And if anything else, you're going to keep the health inspector away. Minimize the chance for rust. Health inspector won't be bothering you. So let's start with the academics, the science of it. Metroseal is a proprietary epoxy-coated finish that offers rust protection and built-in Microban antimicrobial. It is Nsf listed for wet environments. Now, Metroseal offers two layers of rust protection. The innermost layer is that zinc chromate plated level, and then on top of that is the actual Metroseal epoxy coating with Microban. And of course, Microban is preventing the growth of microbes that may cause odors and product degradation. So you have an even further level of protection with Metroseal. Now, the substrate matters. Olive drab zinc. It's a metallic finish over bare steel. And this is kind of scientific, but it's important to understand because you do get two benefits from it. The zinc substrate helps protect the steel from red rust, especially in the weld areas. And then second, it creates a stronger bond between the powder coat to the surface than if it was just a powder coat over bare steel. Whoa, I get it. I mean, it's pretty intense, but there's a lot of benefit to it. And we're going to talk about that in the next few slides. Nsf Wet Environment Finish. Let's talk about that. A product can exhibit no red rust after 192 hours, which is a spec that Metro actually helped to define. And it can have less than 5% white rust. So, you know, when we test our shelves and others, you may see evidence of red rust in areas that are not very protected. And really, that's what the substrate is designed to do. So in this example, I'm showing a competitor knockoff, and it failed the salt fog test because it's showing red rust in those areas. Now, Nsf is also, you know, it is a listing, but there are two distinctions. There's a wet and there's a dry environment listing or certification. But on the product itself, there's no distinguishing mark to identify it for wet or dry. So, you know, when you're looking at a product, you might see Nsf on the collar, and we have to recognize most commercial grade wire shelves have earned at least Nsf listing for dry environments. So, you know, just by seeing the Nsf mark, it does not imply that an epoxy coated product is suitable for coolers and freezers. So, you know, I would say that, you know, traditional competition that has been around, they typically are putting some type of substrate on there, not necessarily an equivalent to Metro, but some type of it. But just watch for shelving that's marketed as rust resistant with an Nsf mark from a company that you're not familiar with, or perhaps someone that you might find on the web, new entrants. They're not always playing by the rules necessarily, because point number two, an epoxy coating might actually be a decorative finish, epoxy over bare steel. Now, let's talk about the wet environment finish itself. Not all Nsf listed wet environment products are the same. So Metroseal with the olive drab zinc substrate after the 192-hour salt fog test is going to come out looking very good. No red rust in the weld intersects, no red rust in the post grooves. But compare it to the one on the left. This is a competitor that was recently tested, and we found that their substrate was not an equivalent. It's actually an iron zinc oxide surface treatment. So again, it is a different chemistry, and as a result, you don't get the same performance that you do out of Metroseal. So we're very vigilant of that, and we're very proud of the fact that we have a very durable and proven finish in our Metroseal. So, you know, I promise you that is the most scientific we're going to get here today, but that is something that should be explained to people when they question, you know, why is a Metroseal product different from everyone else? We definitely have the performance and the track record to back it up. Now, where should someone use Metroseal? I mean, it's so versatile. You're using it everywhere in a facility, from the cooler, the freezer, all the way through dry storage. But in that context, we want to talk about the whole family, because Metroseal is more than just the Super Erecta wire shelf. We also have Super Erecta Pro, which gives you the added protection of a rust-proof shelf mat. And then ultimately our new Metroseal finish, which is Metroseal Gray, or NK4 as you may refer to it. Now, if you think about it, basic Metroseal is your basic armor. Pro, that's your upgrade with the shield for extra protection. And then Metroseal Gray is the one in full regalia, where basically it is a finish that is meant to be seen throughout the front of house areas. So as you're thinking about your facility, there are many uses as you walk in front of house, pickup areas, through the back of house, and prep, and your pot areas, your janitorial, and areas above sinks where you'd use smart wall. Dry storage, which maybe traditionally could be a chrome plated or bright plated Metroseal, certainly has use there, and then cooler freezer. And we're going to talk about the family in the context of those areas. So let's start with Metroseal and the walk-in cooler. We know polycarbonate totes have disrupted the market, and for good reason. Cardboard's not allowed, it harbors pests, it's dirty, but we do recognize that totes are popular as a lean solution for prep. So we got to recognize that with the polycarbonate tote being more common, it does have abrasive ribs on the bottom that damage regular coated wire shelves. And over time, it's going to wear off the finish and lead to premature rusting and a necessary replacement. So we combat that with basically a next level Metroseal product, since coolers require extra protection, called Super Erecta Pro, upgrade to the shield. With Pro, you are getting the most affordable solution designed for the walk-in at only 5% above Metroseal 3 wire. And the benefits in a rust-proof protective polymer shelf mat, the Metroseal coated frames and posts, and with the mat being easily lifted off, now you have an easy to clean surface. Additionally, Microban is built into the entire product. And as a result, the customer is also having a benefit of a higher corrosion warranty, 15-year corrosion warranty on Super Erecta Pro shelves. So certainly an excellent value and a necessity in high traffic coolers and freezers subject to a lot of abrasion. So why green? Green as a color, a very common question over the years. First off, Metro defined the color for cooler shelving. When you hear green shelving or cooler shelving, a lot of people think green epoxy, and it's really due to Metro's pursuit of that finish. And we will continue to offer Metroseal Green because it's iconic. It is, as much a representation of our brand as any other product. But there is value in rust resistance and neutral aesthetics. So we did expand our Metroseal family this year to include gray, an aesthetic that blends in with the 12-year corrosion warranty and the built-in Microban, and the benefits of the complementary aesthetic, blends in nicely with stainless and other decor. And of course, we have it Nsf listed for wet environments. Now, with gray, we've been featuring it in areas where the general customer would come in and see the storage and see the prep areas. So if you think about it, customer-facing areas, front counter and food pickup areas, open and visible kitchen general storage, and under counter areas around the main counter, wall mount. Very good uses for it. Visible prep areas where you use smart wall an awful lot. Takeout prep, because now prep can be done in two places, maybe inside the kitchen and a secondary area where the actual takeout meal or foods are being gathered and organized. And then ultimately too, utensil management. So, a lot of need for those during the prep process, and in visible areas, you can utilize versions of smart wall to accommodate that. Even in grocery, as we look to provide good solutions for grocery has a lot of exposed, open to the public prep areas. And we're finding that, especially on wall mounts, smart wall in the deli area is a good option. Pickup racks. A pickup rack might be near the front of the store, or it might actually go out to the curbside. So at that point, it's going to have exposure to the elements, wetter conditions. And certainly a Metroseal finish in gray with its nice aesthetic is going to hold up well in those conditions versus, say, a chrome or a bright plated product. And one more thing, climate and geography could steer you to use Metroseal in, what we might know as the common dry storage areas. Areas that are subject to high humidity and salt air will benefit from having a universal product that's, minimally a Metroseal product, if not better. So, very universal finish that can, for a lot of customers, even be the one wire shelving product that might be in their facility, because it can really float among all those different areas. So let's look at the many uses of Metroseal again, but through the lens of the different family members. So just follow my cursor if you would. And when you're walking in, so you're outside, you're in the pickup area, and you have Metroseal Gray. And then as you enter a restaurant, you might have a front of house, a counter area where you're going to have it maybe on the wall or additional storage there, maybe some side prep. And if it happened to be a facility that had a visible prep area, now in this layout, it doesn't, because it has a wall here, but if it did, certainly you'd be using Metroseal Gray in Smart Wall and other configurations in the prep space. But in general, when it is like a blind kitchen or an enclosed kitchen, Metroseal Green is still very popular for use in areas above sinks, in the pot sink, janitorial. And, as I talked about, dry storage, especially in those climates that are subject to more humid conditions. Now, in the cooler freezer, I want to emphasize Super Recta Pro. That's the minimal solution that you want to use in that space because of the protective mats that are rust-proof and lift-off easy for cleaning. So you can see here, you can approach a facility with every member of the Metroseal family that can offer an economical, longer-lasting rust-resistant solution. And we certainly have quite a breadth in that family to configure a lot of applications. So hopefully today, in this brief time we spent together, you got a better sense for what Metroseal does as a finish, the science behind it, and then how we apply it across our entire family, from original Metroseal to Super Recta Pro with the protective mat, and ultimately Metroseal Gray, which is our aesthetically pleasing rust-resistant finish for mainly visible in front of house areas. With that said, we want you to stay tuned for some upcoming webinars. The next one, scheduled for March 4th, is related to the National School Breakfast Week. So you'll be hearing more from Metro over the coming weeks about that. And of course, you can see the rest of the calendar there for the months of April, May, and June. And please don't forget to enter the Kitchen Storage Makeover School Edition, where certainly Metroseal Gray, with a lot of application in front of students, in front of parents on meal pickup and delivery, certainly will have benefit in that area. But for more details and to enter, check out fesmag.com/KSM. If there are any questions about anything you heard today, please feel free to email Nancy or me specifically, Rob Kalyuzavich. And with that, I thank you, and we'll see now if there are any questions that are coming in over the Teams meeting.